My husband is not my husband. I have been with my husband for 30 years. We fell in love in high school, that whole cliche. We live in a small town in Illinois, no kids, but 3 cats. For the past week or so, he has been acting strange. And at first, I was really worried. I thought he didn't love me anymore. It started with him not talking to me as much. Usually he tells me everything. We are best friends. I thought maybe he just wasn't feeling well, that work was stressing him out. Then he was saying things that weren't right, saying his boss, Jess at work, was getting married, but his boss name is Kevin, and he's an old guy, about 85, and widowed, but maybe Kevin retired. And this just took over and he forgot to tell me. It was just overall giving me a bad feeling, and I couldn't really explain it. Until today, I'm writing this as an example, to tell people that what the government is saying is true. I never trusted the government, but you know, most sane people don't. Today started normal. The sun rose at 6:52 a.m. after I had already gotten out of bed. It's sad, but I am so used to getting up early for work that I just get up early every day. I made coffee and sat on the couch to turn on the news. My husband usually gets up around 8 or so on the weekends, so I usually just sit around, read or watch TV until he's up, and then we make breakfast and decide what we are doing. This past week of him being weird made me on edge, so when we walked out of the bedroom, wide awake and dressed at 7:05 a.m., my fear for the day started. Good morning, babe. He didn't ever call me babe. He called me donut as an ode to our first date at a cafe, where I ordered a donut, and he said that a donut isn't a good lunch. Morning, you're up early. I smiled anyway, let him kiss me, and then he disappeared into the kitchen. When he was out of sight, I returned my attention to the news, and when I did, a message was on the bottom of the screen. If you believe that your loved one is not who they are supposed to be, remain calm and leave your home immediately. I stare as the message continues scrolling on the bottom of the screen, and then it changes. You are not crazy. They are not your loved one. You are in danger. I blinked a few times. The second Jacob walked into the living room, the message stopped scrolling. I am going to shower, and then we can go out for breakfast, he says. He showers exclusively at night, and we never go out for breakfast anymore. Okay, hun, I smile, cupping my mug in my hands. When he turns the corner, my eyes snap back to the screen. Leave your home immediately, and find the officer at the end of the street. We know who they are. This has to be some kind of practical joke. Is it April 1st? The government will remove the machine in place of your loved one. They are working on finding your family. What the hell? Okay, at that point I was scared. Either it was a joke or I was in danger, and I didn't want to find out the hard way. So, in my bathrobe and slippers, I turned the TV off and set my half cup of coffee down. The shower was still running, but when I stood and made my way to the front door, it stopped. Not even 2 minutes after it turned on, I stopped 2 steps from the door. When I turned around, Jacob was right there. I jumped. He had a very over-exaggerated, worried look on his face, almost unnatural. He startled me. I laughed, my heart racing. Is this my husband? I kept trying to examine him, but the way his body and face looked was so unsettling I couldn't stare. Where were you going? He asks, monotone. Nowhere. I thought I heard someone on the porch. God, I'm glad I can think fast, because he believed it. Oh, is there someone out there? The next 3 moments, I realized that it wasn't a joke, because when Jacob turned to go to the front door, he glitched. That's the only way I can explain it. It was like watching a video of an AI on TikTok or something. His arm was in one position, and then in 2 milliseconds it was behind his back, his head tilted to the side, and then his head went back and his arm was back at his side, and then he was normally walking to the door. My heart was racing. I needed to get out. That was a quick shower, I said, swallowing hard. Yeah, I was sweating last night, wanted to rinse off. That's a lie. He is a cold sleeper, and last night it was freezing in the bedroom. I still don't know how I got out. After all the small talk, I think that thing realized that I knew, and I think it tried to kill me. All I know is I didn't drink the smoothie, and I got out. Now I am sitting with hundreds or thousands of other people in our town's mall. Everyone is quiet. Everyone had a traumatizing experience. All they have told us so far is it was a failed experiment the government was working on that gained its own intelligence and has been multiplying, replacing our loved ones. It's not just our town, it's the whole country. If you are reading this and you think your loved one is not actually your spouse, kid, or friend, leave immediately. Find the officer. get to safety. This is not a joke. They told us that the death count in just this first week is over 1 million. These things are unbelievably smart. Please, listen. Get out. Get out right now. The mall is eerily quiet still. There has been some small talk, but it's all whispers and stops as soon as it starts. After 3 hours of sitting, thinking, I turn to the woman next to me who I vaguely recognize, maybe from around town. How are you? I whisper. She looks startled for a second but then replies, I guess I was shocked. Everyone is, I guess. Who is it for you? I ask, almost reluctantly. My father. I have been taking care of him since the dementia set in. And today he just wasn't himself. Then I saw the news. And here I am. I have been trying to get a hold of my children, but I have only heard from my son. Have you looked around here? Maybe they don't have their phones. They live 30 minutes away. They're probably at their mall or something. They wouldn't have come all the way here. She sighs. And Mabel? Mabel seems around 60 years old, maybe, and she's shaking. And I just feel like I need to be here for her. I'm Haley. I smile gently to her and get a smile in return as she opens her mouth to speak. A loud man on top of the second floor balcony speaks into a microphone. Hello, everyone. The murmurs around the building stop. He's also being broadcasted over the mall speakers. My name is Daniel, and I work for the CIA. I'm here to ease your minds a little. This is a top secret project we have been working on, meant to duplicate our strongest soldiers to fight in wars. It got out of hand when a rogue employee took the software and started spreading it. Murmurs start again, and I hear a few whispers of the same question I'm having. How do you spread software? A voice to my left yells. A bunch of people around start yelling things in return that I can't make out. Alright, before we get ahead of ourselves, I want to give you a brief understanding of what happened to your loved ones. Daniel sighs into the microphone, seeming exhausted. The software is too much to explain, but we had basically made a cloning machine. It's the software to the machine. That is the important part. You scan the face and body, and then it scans the brain and the violence complex and recreates the person with none of the emotional aspects. Now, we are pretty sure this person took the software and modified it and made their own machine. We aren't sure how they managed to get it so far spread, but we assume they aren't working alone. Now, your loved ones, they are most likely safe. We are trying to figure out where the replacements are programmed to take them, but when we figure it out, we will bring them to you. Everyone is standing now, listening carefully. At this point, other FBI, CIA, and government employees of the sort are walking around handing out snacks and water to everyone. Some are escorting people to a different section so the people behind them can set up cots. For now, please refrain from using social media, as we are assuming it has something to do with the internet or phones and computers. Everyone will be staying here until further notice. There are enough cots for almost everyone. If you have a child, we ask you to please share a cot so no one has to sleep on the ground. Thank you. I will keep you all updated. There is one thought running through my mind. If these things are programmed to be soldiers, why didn't they start killing? Are they going to? Is this some kind of Marvel movie, and there's some villain trying to destroy the world? I try not to think about it too much, but it's eating away at me. Everyone around me is sitting back down, accepting the issue, but I'm watching where Daniel goes, making my way towards him. He disappears into a doorway labeled stairway, and I take a guess that he's going down, so I jog to the stairwell. On the first floor, there are a few other people sitting right beside the door, and of course many others in the area, but I am hoping I can pull him aside. In a few seconds, the door opens, and he steps out. Hi, my name is Haley, and I just really would like to speak with you. He looks exhausted, but as I am the only person coming up to him, he stops and turns to me. Yes, I look around, and then start walking back into the stairwell. He follows, and to my surprise, there is no one else inside. The door closes behind us, and he looks at me expectantly. I have a feeling that you do know where our loved ones are. I start, and I'm not forcing you to tell me anything. And if I'm honest, I was about to file for divorce with my husband, and I don't have any other family, so I'm not super distraught over that fact. I am more worried about the fact that you said these things are programmed for war. The look in his eyes tells me I'm right about the first part. Yes, there have definitely been changes to the software and programming, but that is what it is intended to do. We are taking a lot of measures to protect everyone. Is my husband dead? I can hear my heartbeat in my ears, and my stomach is in my throat. He doesn't answer immediately, and I instantly know. Is everyone dead? Again, no response immediately. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I hope I can trust you and your colleagues to tell us all the truth and protect us. I will do whatever is asked of me if this turns into war. I open the door to the stairwell without waiting for a reply and walk back to Mabel, maneuvering around people and children. The next few hours are spent the same as before, except now people are talking. There has been a few fights that have been broken up. It's dark now, and people are making their way to the cots to sleep, and the lights have been mostly turned off. I've spent the time talking to Mabel, telling each other about our lives. It's nice, as I haven't had many close friends in my life. And even though she's much older, and if it weren't for this situation we wouldn't have spoken, I stand and help Mabel to her feet so we can head to the cots, hoping to find 2 open ones next to each other. We manage to find 2 next to a middle-aged couple, and both lay down. Even though I am filled with anxiety and fear, I haven't slept in I don't even know how long, so I drift to sleep. At first I didn't realize I was awake when the gunshots started, but then I hear Mabel screaming my name, and I'm awake. They're here, and we are all unarmed sitting ducks